Well, the Dodgers unveiled King Tuck. What's up, everybody? I'm Jim Rodriguez, and welcome to the latest here on Dodgers Latest. So happy that you are with us. You can always hit me up right there, Instagram and on X at JRodShow, and love to have you part of the community here on Dodgers Latest. Continue to like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell anybody you want. Just continue to hit those thumbs up buttons down there and get that algorithm working. And the Dodgers, they unveiled their $240 million man. Kyle Tucker was at Dodger Stadium on Thursday. He met with Max Muncy. He met with Shohei Ohtani. Freddie Freeman FaceTimed with him, got some texts from other guys, and it was all good as Kyle Tucker was introduced to the media for the first time and officially put on that Dodger jersey and hat as they have signed the right fielder to a 4-year, $240 million contract. And I just wanted to talk about sort of the fallout, like what came of this press conference, because I think there was some interesting things that were brought up, and finally we got some confirmations on some other things. The first one that I wanted to talk about is basically the sort of bad rap that Kyle Tucker has, right? Great question somebody asked is, hey man, all these rumors about you about not having a passion for the game or a love of the game, how do you respond to that? And I personally, I think it was a bunch of haters going on, especially in Chicago, because things ended very poorly with him there. He had a couple of injuries. He wanted to rehab a certain way. Cubs wanted to bring him back faster. He didn't want to do it, especially entering a free agent period. So there was this talk that, hey, he's on the phone more than he is studying scouting reports. And listen, Kyle Tucker is not a rah-rah guy, right? He's not going to be the guy that's going to throw bats in the locker room and start calling meetings and stuff. Listen, that's Miguel Rojas. He's the leader of that team in the clubhouse. That's Teoscar Hernandez. That's Freddie Freeman. That's Mookie Betts. Those guys are there, but he's not Anthony Rendon either, right? Yeah, so he's maybe low-key. He's mellow. His job is to be a five-tool player. It's to go out, win a Gold Glove in right field, put up MVP numbers, throw guys out, and be a hell of a baseball player. And he's been doing that so far, and he's a winner. He's been to multiple World Series. He's won a World Championship, and he enters a clubhouse knowing what's expected and knowing what the goal is every year. It's not to win. It's not to make the playoffs. It's to win the World Series. And I think ultimately they got a winner in Kyle Tucker. Time will tell. We'll see how the season sort of pans out. But I think for Kyle Tucker, I think low key for him is he doesn't need to be the star of this team. Listen, you got stars upon stars upon stars on this team. All he's got to do is be Kyle Tucker, hit 300, hit 35 bombs, and all is good in the hood. So I think Kyle Tucker, defended himself pretty well in the press conference. But there were some other things that I think Dave Roberts kind of confirmed, which we were kind of speculating. The first one is that Tucker is going to be playing right field, and that Teoscar Hernandez is going to move over to left field. That's a bit of a no-brainer, but Dave said it during the press conference. It's official. He said that Teoscar was excited about moving over to left field, and I think, listen, that's good for Teoscar. It's good for his career, good for any future earnings. Remember, Teoscar is in year 2 of a 3-year deal. He's hoping to probably get one more deal, and having a frying pan and falling all over yourself out in right field isn't going to get you another big deal. So at least playing left field, that's going to help Teoscar, whether it's with the Dodgers or elsewhere. And of course, Kyle Tucker, that's his natural position in right field. So we know Tucker is going to be in right. We know Teo is going to be in left. And also we were kind of speculating where he was going to hit. Now, Dave Roberts said, don't hold me to this. Don't quote me on this. But he said he was going to hit in the upper third of the lineup, probably second or third. I've got him hitting second. I think you go Ohtani, Tucker, Mookie, Freddie, Will Smith, Muncy, Teoscar, Tommy Edman, and Andy Pages. That's what I would do. Obviously, there's flexibility depending lefty-righty, day game after a night game kind of situation, but I would hit Tucker too. If you hit him third, does Freddie still hit cleanup? Does Mookie drop to the cleanup spot? I just think if you want to break up Ohtani, Tucker, and Freddie, because those are all left-handed bats. So you want to put a Mookie in the middle in there to sort of mix it up a little bit. But I tell you what, talk about Ohtani on base with Tucker behind him. Whew, that's amazing. Now you could also say, the reason why I like Tucker hitting second is now people have to pitch to Ohtani because you've got a guy like Tucker behind him. If you put Ohtani on, you're going to get Tucker. Not that Mookie Betts is a slouch either. That lineup never stops, but that's kind of where I would go. And I'd love to hear where you guys have asked, said anywhere from second, third, or fourth. Cleanup could be a spot too. I just don't know where you put Freddie Freeman. I think Freddie Freeman, I think he's not a power hitter, so I think Freddie maybe is a 2 or a 3 hitter in that mix, but it'll be an interesting conversation. But Dave Roberts saying, hey, don't hold me to it, but upper third of the lineup, probably second or third. And when he put on the jersey, we saw that he will be wearing, Michael Tucker will be wearing number 23. So why 23? Is it LeBron? Is it Michael Jordan? Well, Kyle Tucker, when he was with the Astros and he's with the Cubs, he wore 30. Well, that's Dave Roberts' number. And Tucker went out and said this, and that he called Dave Roberts and talked about, Tucker called it a shot in the dark, talking about maybe wearing 30. And it was a good conversation. And from Dave Roberts' perspective is this. He played for the Dodgers, and Dave Roberts is a huge Maury Wills fan. And Maury Wills, one of the great Dodgers, one of the great stolen base people, early stolen base guys, he wore 30 for the Dodgers. So Dave Roberts wears it sort of as an homage to Maury Wills. And Maury Wills said to him, hey, I hope no one else wears number 30 after you. And the way Dave Roberts is doing, his number may be retired up there with Tommy Lasorda and Walter Alston, the way these things are going for him. So Dave Roberts could be the last guy to wear 30 for the Dodgers. So he chose 23, did Kyle Tucker, because of Michael Brantley. Michael Brantley played with Tucker in Houston and was sort of like a big brother, a mentor, so to speak, veteran taking the young guy under his wing. So it's a tribute to Michael Brantley. And that's why Kyle Tucker will be wearing number 23, one of the great 23s of all time for the Dodgers. Of course, Kirk Gibson. One of the worst 23s was last year. Michael Conforto wore 23. So hopefully we shake that off, get the bad juju off of that. And Kyle Tucker wearing number 23 will put up some big numbers. Now, aside from Kyle Tucker, one of the questions that was asked of Brendan Gomes and Andrew Friedman and Dave Roberts is, are the Dodgers done making moves? Yes, kind of. They specifically said, are you done making pitching moves? Yes, kind of. So it looks like the Dodgers, maybe they can put the Freddie Peralta rumors to rest. Maybe the Tarik Skubal rumors are going to rest for now. It looks like the Dodgers are going to enter spring training with the team they have. Nothing major is expected from the organization, from the front office for now. Now, I think Tarik Skubal's situation is fluid because his arbitration case is still pending. It's coming up in February. Remember, Tarik Skubal asked for $32 million for next season. The Tigers offered $19 million. They're going to arbitration. There is no negotiation anymore. It's either going to be $32 million or $19, either or. And I think if the arbiter gives or awards Tarik Skubal the $32 million contract, and my God, the guys won back-to-back Cy Young Awards, I think the Tigers will immediately trade him. I think they're not going to be on the hook for $32 million for the upcoming season. If Skubal ends up being awarded $19 million, maybe that's a situation where the Tigers will, hey, we've been to the playoffs 2 years in a row. Let's see if we can make one more run and maybe try to flip Tarik at Skubal at the trading deadline. But I think that's going to be the big key right now when Skubal's arbitration hearing happens, to see what he's awarded and what the Tigers will do, if they will take it on the chin and pay him $32 million through the whole season to try to make it to the playoffs for a third straight year. So it's an interesting dynamic. So, but as of now, the Dodgers are done making moves until they're not. Interesting situation. And of course, we love your making moves here, being part of the show, letting us know what's going on. And we talked about, Tarik Skubal and what are his possibilities. And you're saying this, man, Skubal is all we should want. Great pitching is better than good hitting. I'll settle for less runs if the other teams can't get any. Yeah, man, I'll tell you what. Dodgers have the organizational guys. the trading pieces, they have all that available. The Tigers have said that they want a major league ready arm, somebody who can pitch in the big leagues right now. So no kids. I'm sure they're going to want some kids. They're going to want some prospects, but they're going to want a major league ready arm. Is that Emmett Sheehan? That was Tyler Glasnow for a minute. Glasnow's now not going to be traded. Interesting situation. I think, obviously, it's one of those things you got to keep an open mind and you got to be flexible, because if a Tariq Skubal lands in your lap, you got to pull the trigger on that. We continue to hear what you got to say. And we talked about Andy Pages, right? Saying that he will not play in the World Baseball Classic for Team Cuba, even though he originally had committed to him. Says he's going to focus on this season. Of course, Andy had a sort of, it was a tale of two seasons, right? He had 27 homers, had a decent regular season, and then just fell off a cliff in the postseason. So he's not going to play World Baseball Classic, wants to focus solely on baseball and being the best Andy Pages for the Dodgers in 26. And let's face it, he's coming up, on approaching arbitration, approaching a free agency, wants to put himself in the best position to make the most money he can. And I can't blame Andy. And Pages' decision is a good one, and he needs to work on plate discipline for sure and hopefully make himself invaluable to the Dodger organization. I agree. He is to be an everyday player. Yeah. Andy Pages is going to be, as of now, and of course, narratives and things change quickly in this game. Andy Pages, as of now, is the starting center fielder for the Dodgers. I don't know who else would be out there on the regular, especially after that catch he made in the World Series. Showed us some pop with those 27 homers. Correct. Plate discipline, keeping himself in the game all the time and putting together a complete season and a postseason, which is something they need. But I'll tell you what, Andy was Johnny on the spot. The two biggest moments in the postseason, the walk-off in the division series and that catch in left field in the World Series to save Game 7, Andy Pages was in the middle of that. And you are in the middle of Dodgers latest. Hit me up, of course, X and Instagram at JRod Show. Love to hear from you. Love that you're part of the show. Love that you make these comments and you interact with each other. And of course, we love that you're, growing the channel. We're approaching a milestone in terms of viewers, in terms of subscribers. So please continue to like, subscribe, share, hit that thumbs up button, and make that algorithm do its thing. Creeping ever so closer to spring training, Kyle Tucker is in the mix. He will be right field. He will be number 23, probably batting second for your two-time defending World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers. Interesting, good times ahead. Remember, no matter who's in right, no matter who's batting third, it's always time for Dodger baseball.